Welcome back to Everyday Book Research, where we're taking the things that you're doing in your everyday author life and using them as book research for your current projects and your future projects. Today, we're talking about making your coffee. I know, it's as simple as making your coffee, and even that can be book research. A lot of this is going to be environmental and world building, but it can also be character development. So when you make your cup of coffee or whatever you do in the morning, your tea or whatever, you're going to start tracking these things. Pay attention to what you're doing and how you're doing it. And it comes down to a lot of your decision making. You're going to learn a lot about yourself with this one. How do you make your coffee? What are your steps? The first thing I want you to think about is the steps to making your coffee. What do you do? It might be different person to person. I don't drink coffee or tea or any of those things, so I don't really know, but I have watched other people do it. And I know that most people have a process. There's a way that you do it. And it could be getting your coffee ready and grinding up those beans and getting them prepared, getting out your mug, getting things ready, brewing your coffee, all the things. You might be super fancy. You might have all the little things that you push up and down and it does stuff for you. I don't know what it does, but it does. And you're fancy about it and you've got a process. Maybe you're the type of person who grabs a K-cup, you pop it into your Keurig, you push the button down and you've got magic coffee ready to go in minutes. You will have your own process and way of doing it. But even if you are the very simplistic way of doing it, you still have that process and there are steps that you have to take and decisions that you have to make. How much coffee do you want to make? What flavor of coffee do you want to make? What type of coffee do you want to make? Do you want it pre-created for you? Do you want it in a pod? Do you want something you're going to have to crush up yourself? You make decisions. There's a lot that goes into this process. And I want you to think about this because coffee creation tends to be very methodical. Like I said, there are steps. There's a plan and a process that you're following to make it all happen and to make it happen diligently. And it could be as simple as getting your mug down, putting it in, putting the pot in, pushing the button down, and magically making your coffee. And while you're doing that, you're doing your other things. That's part of the process. It could be as involved as going into the pantry and getting the beans, bringing them back, and making sure they've been roasted properly, and then putting them in the machine, grinding them up, and doing the whole thing. It's a process, and there are steps to it. And you are going to be documenting those, how long it takes, the sensations that you're experiencing when it happens. So what happens when you open the bag of coffee? What happens when you pop the K-cup in? It's going to be different. When you open a bag of pre-crushed coffee, it smells like coffee. When you put one of those cup pods in, you don't smell it. When you are grinding the beans, it's different, baby. Think about the sensations, the sounds, the tastes, the smells, the motions, the movements, the things that you're doing. There are specific things you're going to experience. Document those. Be very clear on how you're documenting those. And again, we're leaning heavily into the senses. This is a sensory experience that you need to be writing into your characters. From the methodical way that you're doing it, to the process, to the way that you've done these things. Some people, let me just break this down for you, because coffee is not the same for every single person. And your process is not going to be the same, even if you're doing the same thing. So let's be very basic on this one, okay? Let's say you are using one of those instant coffee things where you put a pot in and you're good. Let's just across the board say that's how we're doing it. Now are going to do it different than I'm going to do it. You may grab your mug from your shelf and then close the door. I may not have doors. I may not have to close those things. Already it's a difference. I may want a big mug. You may want a small mug. You may want a tall mug. I may want a fat, short mug. I may want one that I can wrap my hands around with details on it. You may want a smooth mug. I don't know. You may want a clear mug, glass that you can see through. I don't know. It can be different. So you are going to have that process of pulling it down, bringing it out. Now, once you have put the pot in, you've closed it, and you've started the little button, now there's a process. I may go over and get the creamer and the sugar and the other stuff that you might put in to make it fancy coffee. And you might not, or you may pick one of those things or whatever. Again, I don't drink coffee. I don't know. Run with me here. You are going to start doing that process differently. And your character is going to have a way of doing it. There's going to be a process to be efficient with this. Grab the mug, put it under, start the coffee. Now go get the things that you're going to be putting into it. Some people may actually want to get those things first and have them ready so that they can start their breakfast while they're doing this. Your characters are going to be different. There's going to be motivations for all these things. Think those things through. Now focus on the sensations, focus on the smells, the sounds, Oh, that's going to be a good one. We're going to focus on the things that are going to be good details. What are you hearing? What are you experiencing? How is the room shifting? How is your internal energy shifting? You're tired. You want your coffee. You're not as happy. You've put it on. Once it starts to percolate and it's making all the great smells and the scents and the sounds, you're getting a little bit happier. Once you've got it, you're drinking it. It's helping you to feel better. All the things. Think about how your body is reacting to all those things, because your body is not just reacting to consuming it, but to the sound of it starting to make, to the click of the button as you're pushing the things down and grinding the beans and doing the things. Your body is reacting to the sense, to the sensations and the sensory things. It's reacting. Take note of it. What does your saliva do? How does your mouth change? How do your eyes perk up? How does your body feel? All of those things relevant to what you're doing. Because your character may not drink coffee, but there may be things that help wake them up like that too. There may be a lot of things that are tangent to what you're doing with your coffee making. This makes for really great notes in how you are creating your content inside of your book based on actions you're taking that can be implemented into your character's lives, from the strategy and the planning behind making something, creating something, doing something, to the plan to how to wake up, to being a morning person or a night person or whatever it happens to be, to consuming coffee, to consuming a warm beverage, to doing all those things. All those things can be implemented in so many ways into your writing. So take those notes, understand what's going on, and use this to very strongly lean into how you can be writing your character development and the world building around you as well, because you may not be the only one in your house. Your cat may perk up when it hears the coffee because it knows mommy's going to be a happier person. Your dog may know, oh, coffee is ready, so it's time for us to take a walk. It's time for whatever. Your spouse may know, oh, my person made the coffee. It's time for me to get up. Your kids may understand that the scent of coffee means it's time to get up and get ready for school. All those things. Take note, take note, take note, because this is going to work very strongly in your benefit. Follow along for more ideas on how you can be using the things in your everyday life to do research for your books. There's so many ways that you can be using something as simple as your coffee to leverage inside of your book, and just the everyday things that you do around your house can make or break how you're developing your characters and your world building. There's so much more we could have gotten into with this one, but we didn't want to go too long on this video. This is a really fun series to help you navigate the things that you're doing to save time and effort so that your author business can be the most profitable it's ever been, as we help you navigate your writing, your marketing, your publishing, and help you save time and effort creating your content so that you can make more money through your author life, but spend less time and stress doing it, so that your author business is working on your behalf while you are off doing your other things. And we're making sure that we are using our time and efforts wisely so that your coffee doesn't have to just be coffee. Your trip to the pool doesn't have to just be a trip to the pool. The way that you're going to the doctor with your kids doesn't just have to be a trip to the doctor with your kids. You can use this to make money from your writing because you're writing better, stronger novels. And this is a really great and easy way to do it. If you've got questions, if you have things that you want me to break down how you can be using them for research, drop those down below and follow along for ways to navigate your publishing business so that it works on your behalf so you can make this your most profitable year ever. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.